We have peepers. Not sure if you can hear them. It's completely awesome. Peepers, of course, are the little frogs that peep. Here's Perry. See, right there. I think I've got 3 or 4 of the cats with me. I don't know, I can't even count them. But they are wanting to be out and about. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this when I shouldn't laugh at it. When he really gets going, he flips his tail toward the side without the leg to help him balance. I'm thinking it's strangely, bizarrely cute. Oh, he doesn't like my 2 black girls. He fights with them, and they fight back. And so he's now afraid of them. And all of my cats have their winter bellies. So, they all need to come for a walk. Me too. I hear people. Okay. Point of video is not to yap about the cats, believe it or not. This is my girl Pix. This is farther than she usually comes. She's usually not going to bother with this walking crap. Perry's playing in the leaves. Anyway, so I had therapy today. I am still going to my therapist and in-person appointments. I'm not sure how long that can last. I'm not sure. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, sort of anything I can do to get people income, I'm trying to do it because there's so many people that don't have any income at all and they're screwed. And yeah. So, my therapist, though, I think he's bored. Here he comes. Can you see him? No, of course you can't. What am I talking about? Oh no, that's Poppy. Okay, anyway, I just don't want the cats to get too lost because it's starting to get chilly out here. But anyway, he's, now that I've sort of gone past my date, my infamous terrible date, it's like he's trying to come up with a cure for the avoidance, maybe? I don't know. I don't really care about what I do in therapy. Right now, especially, I've got like nothing going on. I had said before that the thing that was keeping me going as my big distraction were all the trips. That has stopped cold due to the fact that it's illegal to travel. I might have found one, maybe, that I could do driving distance. Maybe. At least I can start researching it. I said it was a maladaptive coping technique because it was unsustainable. I figured at some point I would run out of money and the traveling would become unsustainable. I wouldn't have ever predicted, a pandemic and shutting down the entire world would make travel impossible. So, I think that's what's on his mind. Is okay, I had these grand plans or whatever that would keep me going. And then I had the intense focus. I don't know. I don't know how bad it came across in the videos. It was really bad. Mostly because I had this, I don't know, it's almost OCPD type extreme reaction where I had something to do and I just had to do it. And I didn't have any options. I didn't have the right. I wasn't worthy already. And I definitely wasn't worthy enough to decide not to do something that I was supposed to do. And I know that's weird and twisted. That was my issue. I mean, just because I could put words on it and label it did not mean that it went away. I mean, I was super aware of it, so at least it wasn't like, oh, I'm sad. I think it's Poppy. I'm sad, and that's why I have this constant thing going through my head that this is what I have to do. It's definitely Poppy. I don't know if you can see his belly. He's got a weight belly, and he's rolling over, playing dead. Anyway, so first I had the travel, and then I had the extreme focus on, this really nasty set of thoughts that was going through my head. And now what? And now I have apparently 40 years to fill. What any person on the planet, if they were told that, I think would just say, okay, well, forget this. So it's not just me. His big argument is, if I'm aware of it, then I can push my boundaries and basically not act avoidant. So he was talking about today, he wanted to know what was my reaction when I first got my diagnosis. And I think I made an entire video about this, about I had no idea what it was, so I was very much in shock. Then I was also hugely relieved once I read up on it and realized that I was not uniquely horrible, that it really wasn't like me just deciding subconsciously to be a nasty little bitch, that, I didn't decide this. It was sort of thrust upon me, but regardless, I also wasn't the only one. There were enough people that did the same thing, as awful as it is. The way I interact with people and don't do it correctly, I'm not the only one who does this. So therefore, I'm not just uniquely, absurdly broken, but I'm within the range of normal. It's not ideal, but there's enough people. I'm not the only one. I don't know. That's really hard to explain. The relief and how much pressure came off me to say, okay, well, here I am. This is what I am. So that didn't go anywhere with him. So his next thing is, and this is my homework assignment for the week. Oh my God. I just realized I don't think I have any space to keep filming, so I better wrap this up quick. Anyway, my homework is to come up with situations where people were sort of like just nice, actually more than that, where people actively went out of their way to do something for somebody for absolutely no return on their part at all. Which I say, now granted, I grew up in a household where absolutely everything was commodified. And you knew your worth in numbers. And you knew your worth by money. And you knew, I am spending this much money on you, and you better make yourself worth it. And I better get a return on my investment. Even though I grew up in a pretty poor household, that was seriously like, I'm not spending my money that I earned on you. I'm not spending my money I earned on myself because I have to waste it on you. Unfortunately, that kind of comes out with my son, I've got to admit. Not really like that, but more like, he doesn't live with me anymore. He has his own income. He has his own living situation. He wants to be completely separate from me, except that he's buying friends. That's been an issue since he was like 6 years old. It's one of these big things. And again, that's an autism thing. It's hard to make friends and find friends. Well, people will be nice to you if you give them money. And he's doing this now, and he's quote unquote lending people money, and then they disappear, and he doesn't understand that. And then he's like, okay, well, Bank of Mom, come give him money, which normally, you know what? What do I care? I mean, especially right now, what do I care? I've paid my bills. Doing much better than a lot of people nowadays. Everything's paid, so I have money left over. So yeah, I could, with no problem whatsoever, give him money, except that he acts like my mother did. How's that for a slip? Which is that he wants something, and the way he gets it is by being so horrible that somebody is beaten down and will give in. Okay, so I'm at a place where the ghosts are. Ghost? You can hear peepers. No wind at all. Come on, ghost. No ghost. I'm going back and getting my cat. It's chilly out here. Anyway. So, yeah. That's a secondary issue. And I do feel guilty about it. Like I said, for my mother, it was very much like I was taking her money and I was not worth it. And I mean, we're talking like when I was a little kid. I was, second grade. My mother, who was a stay-at-home mom, there's a creature over there. Oh, it's my creature. Here's my cat. She stayed home and literally, obsessed with soap operas. But if she had to do something, take me to a doctor, go to school, whatever, oh my God, I was taking up her time. Yeah. If I drank her soda, oh my God, the world will cave in. I really do see the difference with what I'm going through with my kid now. I don't know where the cat went. He's around. Anyway, I don't know. It's a long story. But I feel like if I put in any boundaries at all, then I'm doing the same thing with my kid, and I'm really not, and my intention is not. But, when he's just like, okay, everything you do, I have to give to him, and yeah, he's flipping out because I'm not doing this traveling. He's like, God, you can do that. And it's not fair because he's not. And I'm like, yeah, but I work for the money, and I do things that are, who is this? I don't know if this is my cat or if this is the other cat. No, this is that neighbor cat, the visitor cat, the one that climbs the trees. It's not mine. That one's my cat way up there. Can't see him yet. Anyway, he doesn't get that. He thinks that, I mean, and again, it came from my mother, who would drill into him that I'm worthless, absolutely worthless. She thought my time was worthless. She thought everything was worthless. Everything about me was worthless in every way, shape, or form, and I had no right to, I mean, it's like a big, giant deal. Like if I go buy clothes, it's a big deal because I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to literally wear my clothes to rags and then sew them up to repair them and keep wearing rags. You know, even now, as an adult, like now, my mother truly felt that I should only get one pair of shoes every 2 years and would flip out if I got more than that because it was a waste. And who was I to waste the money that I worked for to earn? You know, because I should have been paying her back literal cash. Like she had, you know, she felt that I owed her, that she needed to be paid for all the hours that she spent taking care of me as a kid. And I owed her, it's like she had a bill or something that she wanted me to pay for all the hours that she spent taking care of me as a kid. And I am not kidding. Come on, Pop. He's waddling. Come on. Yeah, that other black cat's gone up there. I don't know, you can see. Black on black, how could you see? Anyway, so that's what I dealt with. That's what my son heard. And it stuck with him because, it's very convenient to him. So again, me putting out boundaries and saying, no, I'm not going to just throw money at you, kid. And that my expenses, however I choose to have expenses, I have to take care of first. Because he's definitely not going to help me, So, yeah. Anyway, so this is the environment that I live in currently. I remember when it was within the week that my son had an absolute fit because he felt that if I'm working, then literally I should take the money that I earned and deposit it into his checking account so that he would have access to it. I'm like, kid, in real life you have things like, you have to pay for the housing and you have to pay for the electricity and everything else. You've got to pay for gas, you got to pay for your car, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that, plus food. And he's like, well, no, he just can't wrap his head around it. I used to spend every second of the day was available to him. And so now it should be every penny that I have needs to be given to him, and this is the expectation that he has come up with. So, these are the people in my life. This is the life I grew up with. And people who I interacted with that were not them were literally people who were being paid. Like my teachers or somebody like that. They were being paid to interact. Period. Here's Perry. See? Being a goof, rolling around. And can you see them? There's two of them way down there. Hey, Pear. I don't know what those two are doing. I don't know what Perry's doing. He's rolling around too. You ready to go home, Perry? It's getting chilly out here. So anyway, I'm supposed to try to figure out somebody who ever, did something just for the hell of it. I would think that literally the only recent example I can come, okay, and my therapist of course wants me to say, well, it's him, he's the one who's just doing it for the yeah, right, it's getting paid. um you know but it's a therapist usually have this, I will be altruistic, this is the point, this is why I'm doing this, I'm not doing it for the money, I'm doing it because I like to help people. It's bullshit. They're doing it because they it's their job. And I'm not saying it's not a job that they're not good at, but it's something that suits them, that's relatively easy for them to do. You sit in a room with somebody for 45 minutes. I know that mentally it's taxing, but physically not so much. And it's a decent paycheck per hour, so come on now. It's not just altruism, period. So no, whatever, deluded to say that. But the people that I work with sometimes, generally I'm like sort of in a queue for what I do. It is definitely, freelance. So there's no guarantee. I don't have it's very good for avoidance. I do not have like a regular standard client. I have rolling clients. So there's no relationship type of thing going on. It's like one and done. I don't know where Perry went. I don't know. He'll come. Anyway, so again, because it's a queue, it's whoever's first in line will get the next job. And sometimes, here comes Perry. Sometimes they'll, the person who's next will say, no, you take it. I'm going to skip me for now. I'm sure there's a reason for that, though. It's not, oh, I'm going to be benevolent to this one person. Who knows? Maybe they've worked with this client before and they know it's a pain in the butt. Maybe there's somebody else coming up and in the queue that they know is going to be an easier job. Maybe, they need a personal break or whatever. It's never like, oh, I'm going to, not take work and get paid just because I want to be nice to somebody else. No. Never. Come on. That would be the closest, though. So those would be the closest two. Going back, I don't know. I don't know that there's a true altruism, and there have been people that have been very, very nice, and but, well, this is the other thing. Back about, 10 years ago or something, when I was trying to go to therapy to learn to not be avoidant, before I realized, here comes Perry, that it's basically impossible. It is my personality, period. It's not the personality that maybe I wouldn't have had if I didn't have the life circumstances I have, but it is who I am, period. And so it's not going to change. But before I knew this, and really understood, and I had basic therapy, I had therapists that were trying to make me not be avoidant, and they would have me do homework things like go and tell a random person, a stranger, a compliment. This is DBT type, homework, not something that somebody with avoidant personality disorder was going to be comfortable with at all. And this was actually even before I had DBT, so it's probably longer than 10 years ago. But anyway, so I would go and exactly that. I would, go to a grocery store and screw up my courage and give somebody a random compliment. And yes, it was some genuine thing that I would have noticed. It wasn't like I was making it up and it was bull. But normally, everybody, if they're even slightly paying attention to anybody else, maybe they'd say, oh, I like this clothes you're wearing, or, oh, I like, how you're interacting with somebody, or good job with your kid, or, I don't know, something, right? And in the real world, people don't actually say that out loud, So I was quite sort of proud of myself to have actually had a situation where I did my homework, I gave somebody a compliment, and I went and told somebody, I was like, yeah, I did this, who immediately turned around and said, oh, well, you weren't really giving a compliment. You were just hoping that somebody was going to compliment you back. I was like, no, I don't think so. But it has definitely stuck in my head that, it's true. People do good things in order to feel good about it. And people give what they have available. Oh, Perry did really good. He walked like a full half mile. Are you doing good, Perry? He keeps taking breaks, but he's doing really good. Anyway, so, I'm definitely not taking myself out of that equation. That doing good, like making these videos. Yeah. I get a lot out of making the video. First of all, I get to talk to anyone because I don't talk to anyone at all. So, I can, get the cobwebs out of my throat. Because I do get mostly positive feedback because I do have an instinct to teach and to help people. And, this is just part of my build. It's just part of who I am. So it's probably like a superiority complex type thing that I'm scratching. That I'm like, okay, let me tell you, here's what's going on.